Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, the NFL and Reese's Senior Bowl have come together to create the HBCU Reese's Senior Bowl Combine. Now, this is something I'm going to read you off straight from the Reese's Senior Bowl Combine website. Let me share my screen because we're going to read this together. And you might not be able to see it that well, but I'll read off what it's saying. It says, the Reese's Senior Bowl, in collaboration with the National Football League, will hold the HBCU Combine in Mobile, Alabama, from select players from 4 HBCU conferences: the CIAA, MEAC, SEAC, and SWAC. And other HBCU institutions will be invited to participate in the event. Held at the University of South Alabama and partner with the NFL Combine, the HBCU Combine will include the gathering of comprehensive medical information, interviews, and on-field evaluations of football skills and acumen. Last year's event, announced in February 2020, was postponed due to COVID-19. An HBCU scouting combine comprised of current and former league executives will evaluate and select this year's participants. The Senior Bowl will provide medical and football personnel to capture important pre-draft information and deliver world-class experience for the HBCU prospects. With representatives from all 32 clubs traveling to the Senior Bowl week in the past, hosting the event in Mobile, Alabama, ensures maximum visibility for HBCU players. One of the event's key objectives. The 73rd annual Reese's Senior Bowl will kick off Saturday, February 5th, 2022 at 1:30 at Hancock Whitney Stadium. Now, what is the importance of the Senior Bowl being held and all the HBCU players being invited and all of this stuff going on? It's just more exposure. Anytime you can get more exposure for the players of the HBCUs, it's never a bad thing. Remember, Deion Sanders came out and he was pissed about how there was zero HBCU players selected in the 2021 NFL draft. That fired him up. And he pretty much vowed to make sure Jackson State will have players selected in the upcoming drafts. It won't be any more drafts, basically, is what he was trying to get off. There won't be too many more drafts where HBCU players, whether it's from Jackson State, Tennessee State, Southern, Alabama, A&M, Grambling, Mississippi Valley State, that will go undrafted. There's no way. We have all of these great players, Aquil Glass over Alabama A&M. Now, granted, he came back to school and he wasn't eligible, whatever. But all of these great players from all of these different conferences, I just named 4 different conferences with players from HBCU, with HBCU players, and nobody is selected. It's too many great players from these HBCUs to not be drafted. And the biggest problem, the reason why they aren't drafted, the reason why they go undrafted and having to end up making the team as an undrafted free agent is because of the lack of the exposure, right? And that's what the greatness of a Deion Sanders and an Eddie George bring to their respective HBCUs, to Jackson State and now to Tennessee State University, because they bring that spotlight, they bring that exposure. And with that exposure comes draft picks. With that draft picks and success come better players. The players, instead of choosing the Floridas or the Georgias, or the Georgia Techs, or the Virginia Techs, or the Texases and Oklahomas, they're now choosing Jackson State. They're now choosing Tennessee State. They're now choosing, they have a litany of colleges from the Power 5, and instead they're choosing to go to the schools that are ran by people that look like them, to the coaches that look like them, to other players that look like them, to an environment of people. Going to a school with an environment of people that look like them. And they're helping these colleges because these schools need our help. And one of our greatest assets are our athletes. Athletes are some of the greatest exports the Black community gives to the world, whether you like it or not. We have great educators, great thinkers, but one of our biggest assets that actually brings in a ton of revenue is athletics. And our greatest athletes have been going to these Power 5 big white corporations, these big white universities, and we have seen nothing in return because of it. And so to allow the athletes to go to the HBCUs, prop up the HBCUs, help them garner some money, and get a chance to play in the NFL and get yourself some money, create generational wealth for your family, it's a win-win situation. So I'm never going to be mad at that. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. The Reese's Senior Bowl and the NFL have combined to create an HBCU combine, and I think it's going to be a great thing. I think it's going to continue to allow more big-time head coaches to choose HBCUs to come back and choose those places for less money and help build those programs and to get some of those players into the National Football League. I'm not mad at it. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. I post content on here every single day. Thank you guys for listening. Peace.